So hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I'm very excited to have Yukiya Sundara with me again. Yukiya, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to be back and connecting with you and your audience.
So today, Yukiya and I don't know if you guys saw our video, but we did a video that was so long that um, that I had to break it up into two different because it was so long and it was so fascinating. If you have not seen her video, please go back and watch it because it is amazing, amazing information. So the way I met Yukiya was Yukiya came for a quantum hypnosis session, and we connected, and then I was so inspired by her abilities that I wanted people to know about them. And she, at that point, she mentioned that she was working with creating a video game for children to awaken and to teach them all these spiritual things that are not being taught in school. So I told her to let me know when she was ready to launch this video game. And so it looks like we are there. So Yukiya, I'm so
Yes, yes.
excited.
Um, Initially, it was going to be a video game, and then we made the decision to go with a game board so that family could work together and
Ah,
and the children could actually touch the material, the 3D modeling characters, and they could work together with their parents, with their grandparents, and with their teachers, because this is, it covers the whole lot. And so we made a decision to go with the game board and then the online game. Okay, the
okay.
online game. Yes. So
Okay.
we have two items that are going to be launched. One is going to be launched very soon, which is the online game, which is in February with a Kickstarter campaign. This is an awareness campaign about Sacred Worlds game. That's what it's called, you know. And and uh, and then the Kickstarter will be in February, and that's when the online game will be already ready, to be purchased by the audience, which is very exciting also for us. And we'll probably be launching the board game in June, so that's the
Okay.
board game in June. So
Okay.
those are that's the outline of it. But about the game is very exciting,
So tell us, yeah. So tell us the
very exciting.
inspiration for the game and
So,
what is the game about?
the game is really about it's like a a it's like a cooperating and partnering, with your parents, with your grandparents, and with your teacher in an adventure, using your imagination. Mm. So, and it's about that child, that child that's born, that special child with gifts and talents, but they're not yet discovered. And we've all been there. A child that we cherish, a child that is angry for the opportunity to blossom into the real or the realness of who they are. And the world is waiting for that sparkle to shine. And very often in our old template world, though that spark and has been shut down, or not allowed,
Yes.
not being
Yes.
allowed to flourish. So the game is about allowing that to happen through imagination, adventure. It will help the children to put them on a path of self-discovery, a path that engages them where they are, exactly where they are, the fun, the magical, and the adventure. And it's a path that you can walk with them hand in hand, you know, and where parents assist them and partner with them in the game. It is not a game about competition. It's about community. It's about partnership. It's about allowing and helping each other to be who they are, to return to who they are, and to remember their gifts and their skill sets. And it opens the door to that creativity and that imagination of the child, and it works with nature cycles. So there is a partnering with nature that the game includes. So nature, it's through nature, you know, to moving through the three realms, the water realm, you know, which we call Tortuga in the game, you know, the cosmos realm, which we call Lanakia, which is our grand constellation, and then the earth realm, which we call Avalon, you know. So they move through these realms and they master these realms, and they recover remembrance and skills through each one of these realms, you know.
Wow.
Together, you know, through adventure, through imagination, you know. So at the heart of the game is the story of the golden child, because we are all golden children, okay? That was birthed from the star with these unique abilities. But then we've gone into amnesia because we lost the memory of who we were. And so we lost memory of the talents, of the and that once were earthbound. So the child's quest to remember, to recover those gifts,
Wow.
leads him through these magical realms of the earth, the water, the cosmos, bringing tools, working with glyphs, you know, working with magic tools, you know, wands and interstellar watches, you know, replicators, you know. And as the child progresses on the journey, it connects with totem animals, you know, with nature spirits, with cosmic characters, and becomes part, which all becomes part of the play, you know. So, and the child's voice and imagination is key and is encouraged, you know, in order to discover the adventures, to explore those adventures. So he makes decisions that benefit the realms. He makes decision that benefits nature. He makes decision that benefits the world and brings the world back to harmony, you know. And he's doing it with his parents. So there is across, it's an exploration of these worlds where parents, children, teachers, and grandparents, you know, are all exploring and discovering, because let's face it, some of the grandparents, some of the teachers, you know, they are not, you know, inside these worlds. The seed is inside them, but
Right.
they will be discovering with the child.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and of course, the inspiration for the game is very important here, because you know, the game came through spending time with my grandchildren, you know, during the pandemic, but even before the pandemic, you know, getting in contact and integrating aspects of ourselves that reflect the characters of the game. You know, the elf, you know, the Akina, which is the Pleiadian, you know, star being, the dragon energy, the swan energy, so all these, and there's 25 characters, you know. So,
wow.
and each of the characters explores an emotional state, but more a feeling, and imparts qualities to each one of us. And they're all aspects of us. They're all aspects of us. And we're doing this through adventure, and the adventures were created representing everyday challenges that children face, with parents, with grandparents, within the education systems, with the DNA strands that they have come in with, because they are coming in, these golden children, and we are, some of them, they're coming in with qualities, gifts, vision, and an expanded awareness of the world that is very different than the one we knew before.
Yeah.
So, they get, then, it's a life, the life path that we take, each one of us take, and I've certainly taken it, to connect with all these aspects as part of the totality of who I am and who we are, are reflected in the game. The adventures, to overcome, the shutting down of imagination, to overcome the fear of the shadows in the room, to overcome the bullying and that comes about as a result of you being so different than the others, and sharing gifts that they not yet understood, rather, the emotional turmoil of rejection, and abandonment, or just purely ignorance of parents to interact at this level with the children, that have this incredible imagination or vision of a new world, and teachers, because this is very much, one of the goals of the Sacred Worlds game is to be licensed in alternative schools initially, so that it's through gameplay that we bridging the gap that exists within the education systems, and then tailor making curriculums, that are customized to the gifts and the skill sets of the children, which is so the inspiration was the grandchildren, and it was also, how I was brought up, by my, I was brought up in an environment that was open to choice, not that was shut to choice.
That's wonderful.
Even if that choice was within the world of imagination, and I remember very clearly, having my first episode with spirit. I was 6 years old, in my bedroom. I shared the bedroom with my sister, and this being appeared in the threshold of the door and called me to come towards, because he had the key to give me. And I was, a child, and quite panicky at that stage with that. But I got out and I went to fetch what to meet this being. It was my first encounter, you could say, with this beautiful star being. At a talisman to give me. And I remember sharing the episode, with my sister the next day, and her reaction. You live in the world of imagination, it's a world of fantasy. I can't understand it,
Wow.
Yet my mother, who caught me in the corridor, completely, because I fainted in the corridor, and then I had no oxygen, and I had to be taken to get some oxygen. And afterwards, when my mother asked me what happened, and I explained to her, she acknowledged that that was a possibility. She acknowledged, she didn't shut me down.
Right.
There was part of her that said, look, we come from a family of mediums, and many have ended up in asylums, so you need, just rethink how you want to navigate through that,
Right.
so there was an opening, throughout the path that I've taken. There were many choices not to go to church, choice not to be involved in certain things that the family or was involved in, and those choices were always respected. So we always had a choice to go or not to go.
Nice.
And to live in the world of imagination or not to live in the world of imagination. And so that inspired me to put, and seeing what's happening within the school system, how our children are taught, the mechanism of education, and the process of it, which I had an opportunity to see face to face, with my grandchildren during the homeschooling. I was activated, especially by my grandchild Raphael, who is gifted and remembers these worlds.
Wow.
As remembrance of these words, and shared with me when he was very young, the remembrance of these words, and the difference, how different he was, and how he appreciated that we understood where he was coming from, and how that was so valuable to him, and so many of the adventures, even some of the characters have come inspired by him, because he's got so many stories, of the unseen world also.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the inspiration, and looking around and seeing, how much this is needed, the current challenge, the lack of innovation, the lack of creativity and expanded awareness, from soul heart connection within the education system, within the parents, within the grandparents,
Yeah. Yeah.
Not being able to tap to the skill sets of the children's natural skill sets and gifts, and encourage them to flourish, and also to bridge that understanding of how to communicate better as a family, how to build empathy, between parents and children, how to enrich the relationship between the parent, the educator, and the child, how to explore the talents, and how they relate to the world, how they partner with nature, partnering with nature, because one of the legs of the game, which is very important, is when you collect your 3 remembrance cards, so you do three rounds around the game board, and you collect your 3 remembrance cards, so you're collecting parts of yourself, all those parts of yourself. Then the game is completed on the board. But then there's one final card that is taken, which is a partner with nature card. And the whole group, so if it's just mother, father, or if they're playing in school in tables of 6, the whole group goes and do an activity in nature together. All right, so the game does not finish until that activity is done. So you take a card at random, all right? And this card will tell you, go and do a fire pit, and do a fire ceremony, for example, or go and plant sunflowers, or go and hug trees, or go whatever it is in the list that has been designed, and so they together they do that, and then they come back, to the game. They will register. There will be an online website where they register their experience, either by photograph or by, a little
Comment.
sentence, how they felt about it, or a video, because a lot of these children, they like to speak, so uploading videos about how they felt, and then they get awarded. They get an award, but this award is about, it's an award of their talent as a creator. So you are the creator, you are the creator.
Yeah.
So there will be a credit score every time they play the game. The creator starts expanding consciousness, because every time they play, they log in and they get they might get a sphere of golden light the first time. They will get, a luminous rainbow butterfly the next time, or whatever it is,
Wow.
So it's an ongoing, every time you play the game, you explore different aspects of yourself, through the adventures and through the tools that you choose at random. Everything is chosen at random. All right, everything. And then there's another component which is very important on the game, and is that once, let's say, there's 4 players, and I finish my remember, because there's a dice, so you have to go across the board, and you have to, if the adventures is in water, then it's in water that you need to do the adventure. But when you dice, you might not land in water, you might land in the cosmos, so you have to dice again. Yeah, okay. And so I finished first. I've got my 3 remembrance cards with my skill sets of other lifetimes and timelines, with me. But the other 3 haven't finished. So they can ask me for help. So that's it. We learn how to work in partnership with and in community with. They can ask for my characters, for my tools, I can offer them a Nanakia card. Nanakia is my character, in the game, which is the name that my grandchild gave me. When he was very young, he was only 1.5 years, and he said, "You are Nanakia, the golden light, the golden white light." And so it's about the golden child, which is Raphael. So there's caricature, the golden child is a caricature of my grandchild. And here is a spirit caricature of myself, coming from the star. So this is, all the rest are aspects of ourselves that we integrate in. And there's so many more than the 25, but for this game, it's 25 aspects, through adventure. So I'll be able to give them a character, give them a tool, or consent that they take a Nanakia card, because Nanakia cards are cards that overlight the children. So on the game board, you will have Nanakia cards where they give you gifts. So if you take a Nanakia card, you might get a ruby, and that accelerates the pace, so you can fly through the worlds and land where you want to, so you get gifts from the Nanakia cards. And if you if you lie on the portal, because the game is the 3 realms, but then there's a portal in the middle, you know, which blends the worlds. So these golden children, they come from the portal and they leave through the portal, you know. So you have a portal card, which also gives you another gift, you know, and
A
skill
what card?
set. A portal card.
Portal.
That, so if you land with a dice, you know, on the portal, you take a portal card, which gives you another set of gifts and possibilities for you to move faster or to collect parts of yourself that you haven't collected yet. Yeah. And it's all about questions. So in the adventures, there are questions at the end for the children to answer, you know.
Oh, okay.
How they're going to sort out the adventure. And they can use the feeling body, they can use sound, they can use movement, you know. So they are free to use, you know, whatever tools they have. Plus, of course, the tools that they choose, you know, the magic tools that they choose, and the characters, you know. But there's song, there's movement, there's sound, there's you know, storytelling, you know, encouraged. There's free expression from the children. It's about from the children, from the parents, because the parents will be playing the same game.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the same game. So it's using the imagination and activity and playing the game. And every time you play the game is different, because every time you play the game, you collect parts of yourself that are new, you know, that are aspects of you, that all is part of you. So that's the great message also. It's all part of you, you know, it's all part of this understanding that all individuals are gifted, you know, no matter, even those within the spectrum.
Yes.
So, you know, the refined autistic children, you know, because there's a lot of labels out there. And so even those play the game. All individuals are gifted, and many do not understand, you know, what their gifts are. And certainly the parents don't understand what their gifts are, or the school system. And so through game playing, they understand their purpose on this earth, they understand their gifts, and how can they benefit the world through nature, you know.
That's very
So
important.
the world is going through like a collective awakening. We all know that, you know, they are the next generation. They are the voice
Yes.
of the transformation that we are bringing in this planet, the children. So
Absolutely.
that's the activity. And then at the end in the website, there will be about 6 or 8 organizations, you know, non-profit organizations that either preserve the corals and you know, the preservation of the corals, the preservation of the dolphins, the whales, and the sharks, the tree, you know, the crystallized tree movement, you know. So there'll be a whole lot of organizations that the children can choose one to ask the parents to donate to. So it's the children that drive it. They will, you know, look at each one, you know, and say, I like that one, you know. And then there's a button, an ongoing button, you know, on the side that, you know, will be registering the donations to the different organizations.
Oh, wow. So it teaches them to donate as well, to
donate,
giving,
and
to be giving.
To be giving, to be, you know, teaches them, the game covers appreciation, gratitude, you know, the power of imagination, how to feel in the body, you know, how to register sensations in the body, you
That's
know,
important.
How to feel with the heart, how to feel with the belly, you know, how to work with these two energies, you know. But this is all through game playing and adventure, that this is done.
Yeah.
It's all, it's a, it's a journey, it's an adventure journey, and it's quite exciting.
Well, it sounds very exciting, and it sounds like it's something that is desperately needed because these days kids are learning by video, right? They're learning
Yes,
by
yes,
websites, and they're used to that. So being able to have the game tactically, that you can touch as well as having it on the website, I think it's a great idea.
yes, and then also being able to explore nature together with the game, and so that was one of the main things, because it's the game is in the game, surrounding the game is the elemental energy of fire, water, earth, all the elements. So that's why the three realms are so important. And then there's the blending of the portal one, which is the etheric energy, you know.
Do
And
you think that a lot of this was channeled by you?
yes, yes, a lot of it was transmitted, at the point, I worked with I went to fetch someone that was very good with structure and paraphrasing things, gifts that I didn't have myself, to develop the content. A friend of mine, Simon, that helped me with that. And you know, and the transmissions came, but I needed to put that in a certain order, in a structure, and so that worked very, very well, and I'm very grateful for that assistance that I've received, because that wasn't a skill set that I had. I was just channeling and transmitting the information, of
Right.
characters that I've known, that by traveling through the realms myself, as a golden child, and that I've encountered in my life, and that were communicated with me through my grandson, you know.
Wow.
So that's the and so that's that's basically, in a nutshell, that's the so it's very it's true, and it needed to be through gameplay,
Hmm.
that we're learning the new, we're stepping in the new, parents, grandparents, children's, teachers, we are stepping into the new world. We are we're bringing the activity freely, we are opening the doors to that, to all those versions of ourselves. We're collecting all those pieces, but we are supported,
Yeah.
we are trusted, we are nurtured. So one of the roles of Nanakia, for example, is really, she comes in the description of the card, she comes from the golden star to guides the way,
Hmm.
and she catalyzes the world of wonderment, magic, and alchemy, brings gifts, but supports and trust, and encourages trust, encourages grounding, encourages nurturing, right here on earth, and has a love and a passion for Pachamama. Eh? So which is the embodiment of the Divine Mother, you can say, that's
Yes.
the embodiment. Um, and it's it's she's equally comfortable in the water, in the earth, in the cosmos, and in all realms, and that's perfect, and brings the elements of love, of joy, of truth, of gratitude, of abundance, compassion, also patience and leadership, because there's a lot of initiatives that have to be explored in the game, that develop that initiative also, you
Oh,
know. Um, and also the one of the other, she emanates this love that encourages the heart to be felt, the heart to be opened, and to be engaged freely, you know.
yeah.
Uh, and it, the
Beautiful.
golden child is is the other main character, and Golden Child is basically capturing that wonder, that curiosity, that purity, that magical qualities, that spontaneity, through a box of wonders and adventures. He's coming to discover, to explore, to learn, to be happy, and to be able to express at any moment in time what he's feeling and what is, even if it's up or down, he
That's
gives
so
the
critical. So
he gives the
critical.
best of himself. And I think that's really critical for our world, because one of the things that we encounter all over, all right, is sometimes something that seems to be blocking, our way, or the child's way of seeing the world in a different way, or being in the world, with the duality and the density of the world. And I have a little story that I think it's important that I share, which also became an adventure, by the way, which happened to my grandchild. During Halloween, the mothers take children to the Halloween places, the fairs, and he's a very sensitive child, and he was taken to the fair, like with other children, his friends. Everybody was excited. So was he. He was also very excited. And in the fair, there was one of the places he had to go was through a cave, where all these monsters popped up and these horrible things, popped up with blood and this and that. And this child became extremely impressionable afterwards, and he wasn't able to sleep, the first day, the first night. All the other children were all right, but he wasn't. And he started seeing shadows in the ceiling, because he's got stars in his ceiling. But he started seeing shadows, lots of shadows, and he started being moved. He felt that he was being pushed around by the
Oh,
shadow, pushed
okay.
around. So he'd run to his parents' house, my daughters, and during the night couldn't sleep, and my daughter, I wasn't with him, so my daughter shared the story with me and said, "What can we do? What can we do here?" And we said, "Well, let's see how we can overcome, because it's the fear of the shadow and of that darkness, that dark world that he was feeling." And so how can we sort that? So, I suggested, the saging the room, doing a ceremony, inside the room to sage the room, but also sage the whole house around, because he has seen me doing that before and singing. So doing a circle in the room and then singing and saging. And so that was one of the things that was done, and then we asked him, what else? What else? How would he make peace with the shadows? And he says, yes, it's very important to make peace with the shadows. Oh, I've got an idea, because he loves that expression. I've got an idea. And off he went. So he asked the mother to bring, to buy a canvas, a white canvas, and he drew a dragon. He draws very well. He's gifted in drawing, He drew a big dragon, all right, with very bright, fiery colors, red and, a big dragon. And he painted the dragon. And he said that he was overcoming through this. He was overcoming the shadows and the fear of the darkness and the fear of those things that were moving him around. He needed to make peace through this. And when he finished his work of art, which took a few days, because he did it in pieces, he came back. He slept that night, the whole night. And he said, and then he wanted to speak to me. I want to speak to Nana Kia, because I want to tell her what has happened. And the first thing he told me is, Nana, I finally made peace with the shadows.
Wow. That's so powerful.
Yeah, I finally made peace. They're not moving me around. I know how to deal with them.
There you go. So you
You
taught
know,
him to harness his own power already as a child. That's so important.
yes, it's very important to encourage it, because they have a knowing, but
Yes.
you can't give them all the info. You have to ask them, okay, are you going to do that?
Well, the
Because
thing
it
is
has
you're
to come
teaching
from
him.
them.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're teaching him to go find it within, which is what we should have been
Yeah.
taught all along.
Yes. So, I'm sharing this because one of the adventures is like this. I changed it a little bit around, but I did say, I think that it was my grandchild. I'm not sure, because it's 25 adventures. But it is about questioning the children. How are you going to overcome this? You might have this tool. That's magic. You might have this character that's got all these incredible qualities, but how are you going to do this? How are you going to get to that crystal city underneath the water and open that stargate that is in front of you, and that's got a dragon in front that needs to feel your heart first before he gives a rite of passage? They have to answer. They have to explore. But it's not only the children, it's the parents and the grandparents, and the teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that brings me to another leg that we didn't realize, because we were learning as we were going along. Okay, fine, we've got the children sussed out, because they probably can get there faster than the adults. We've got alternative parents, conscious parents, probably on board. But what about the grandparents? What about the teachers? What about how are we going to bridge that? So we decided to include in the game box and in the online game, like a guideline to support to support um, to support the parents, and how the parents can also support the children in the game, you know, which we thought it was important, so that we have this understanding, that this partnership that takes place between them, because they will all be discovering themselves, this is not the children only,
Yeah.
and they will find things about their child that they've never thought, and the children will see the parents in such a different way. There's the potential is there,
Yeah. Yeah.
the potential is there. um
Wow. That's fantastic. So it sounds
yeah.
like the target market is really everybody.
It's from 5 years old, 5 years old onwards,
Okay.
and of course the 5-year-olds, they can't read, but that's why the parents are there. The parents need to explain to the but some 5-year-olds can read,
Yes.
so it's because we're living in very different times, very different times.
Yes.
But it's good that if there is no understanding, the question is there is a question, and the parent needs to come up with an answer to support it, um, and there will be times that the children will be supporting the parents, because
Right.
that has happened so many times with my grandchild, and my daughter and the husband, so many times that he was the one supporting, because there was no understanding, or there was a miscommunication. Something was not clear, and the child cleared it. So our children, many of our children are our teachers,
Yes, absolutely. And I just feel intuitively that that's the game is going to also help them, the parents, to
Yes,
uh, to be taught by this new wave of teachers.
Yes, yes. It's a new wave of teachers, that they can, I find that children in general, they can read through the clutter of the mind, um, of the parent or the teacher very, very quickly. They can read through it, and they can say, you are telling me to go and do this. Go to the kitchen and sit down, and have your meal, Why are you shouting that? Did you have a bad day? It seems to me that you've had a bad day. So I am not going to go to the kitchen. I'm going to go to my room, undress, do my thing. I need some silence. And then I'm going to go to the kitchen, and hopefully you are in a better mood to talk to me. So this interaction, I'm just an example.
Right.
This is a teaching that we are receiving as parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the next time around, the father or the mother or the teacher is not going to do it. They're learning.
Yeah.
So it's about learning together, and it's also breaking down the ego barriers that we still have, parents, grandparents, and children, wanting this and wanting that, because it breaks those barriers down, because a lot of the adventures request them to feel and to express from the heart, So, and that's why they can choose sound, they can choose movement, they can choose whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
to do it,
Wow. Wow.
But I'm very, I'm very obviously very passionate about launching this is my first conversation, about Sacred Worlds. And so the first interview, basically, and I don't see it as an interview, I see more as a conversation about the game, an awareness, bringing in the awareness that this is coming, and the benefits of it to this planet. That is one of the primal goal of this, and certainly of my team, the team that we've got. We are all invested in not only doing this game, but bringing up a whole series of products afterwards that are related to opening that consciousness and making those bridges, and tailor making a new way for education in our planet. So we are, thinking of books, interactive books of codes. I asked my daughter the other day, it's about all stories, So what books does Raphael read now? Oh, he only reads the book of codes. I said, yeah, only the book of codes. He's not interested in the books that have a story only. He needs to do something. So the book of codes, it's like you have to decipher something. It takes you to the next page. There's a question. There's something that you have to choose. They're called, I think, interactive books or multimedia books or something like that. Yeah. So it's become a big thing, now. And it's funny enough, it is part of the set work books of the school that he goes to, So it's a book. It's called Book of Code series. It's a five books. Yeah. But I've gone through libraries, to check, because the next thing that I'm developing is the books, working with creative writers, to come up with something really, really, very, that addresses what we are trying to do. It's addressing the same thing, making that bridge, designing something that gives that exploration and allows the imagination to of the child, the parent, the educator, to do something together in community and with nature. So it will
Mm-hmm.
be along the same lines, along the same lines.
Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds so exciting, and it's something that's so needed right now.
Yes, I feel really joyful to be sharing, this new adventure, this new product, and it's like bringing in a transformation, to the way we do things through gameplay, you know, and it's then it becomes so easy, because why should it be difficult,
Yeah.
why should it be tedious? Why should it be so repetitive? you know uh what if our tagline is, what if changing the world is just about gameplay? you know you know so it's so easy, so it's not,
Yeah,
what if
being,
changing the world were as simple as playing a game?
yes, absolutely. That's
and
what
this
we're
is what
doing.
we and this is what we're bringing. we
Yes.
bring we're bringing this change. We have a group of heart-centered, a talented team of art-centered creatives, that are hard at work to bring this game and other products into fruition. you know
Wow.
and so
Wow.
to make that bridge that will assist children in recognizing their worth, and give parents and grandparents and educators another tool for discovering what makes these golden children who they really are, and what is the benefit to the planet, and how they can work in partnership with nature. So we invite everyone to join us in this journey of illumination and awareness.
Yes, absolutely. And I definitely want to ask people to please share this, because this is how we change the world, which is through the children, right? Through awakening well, not awakening the children because they're the teachers, but connecting the children to that piece that the adults might not know how to open up these gifts within the children, and instead of pushing these gifts down, this in turn makes them bigger. And again, teaching any human being, whether it's a child or a human, to deal with their emotions, which is one of the reasons why we are in such a mess, is huge. So if we're already teaching our children to handle their emotions, the the world is going to be such an amazing place, because there's not going to be any anger, there's not going to be any people wanting to hurt each other. It's going to be
Mhm.
all about, loving each other, and creating compassion and understanding, when somebody else is feeling weird, we'll know how to deal with that and how to help that other person. And so really, this is just, it's huge. It's going to be
Mm.
really big. So
Yeah,
um
it is. And
um
I got the vision when I did the solar disc for the game, which I will be sharing, when we publish this. I'll send you the solar disc. But when I did that, I got a vision of like an enchanted garden. It was like a clip of a movie almost, because that's how it happens. It flashes like that, with my visions. And there was this child, at the end of this path in the exchange in the enchanted garden, and he came back. He walked down the path to a isolated enchanted house, and inside the house there was an adult, a, a beautiful girl trying to write what she remembered, about her life. And she was very frustrated, very, very frustrated, because she could not remember, and so basically the next scene is that the child asked the Alice, let's call it that, it's Alice in Wonderland, ask her, have you forgotten how to play? And she sort of got, a bit flustered and said, and he continued, have you nurtured your ideas and took care of them? Because that's the world of imagination. If you imagine it, it is done. And then she gets up, she drops the pen and she walks with him hand in hand, because he tells her, don't worry, call on your inner child, but I will take you there again. Come with me. And they walk to the enchanted mountain, in the far side, and where I saw this vision, when I brought down the disc, the drawing of the disc. And I thought to myself, that's exactly it. We've forgotten how to play.
We
We
have.
forgot this world of imagination, because and he made it so simple, if you imagine, it is done.
It is done.
It is done. It's not that you are in fantasy. No, you imagine, it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's been taken away from us, right? That's why it's been, all the creativity has been taken away from the schools, because they know that if we were to use our imagination, we are so powerful.
We
So
are very powerful. So we encourage, this is part of the so this is an awareness campaign about the impending launch of the Sacred Worlds game. It's pre-Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will be in February, but I encourage people to join our mailing list at sacredworlds.com. Also, we have an offering which is perfect now for Christmas, because it's a coloring in book with some of the characters and the tools of the game that everybody gets for free in subscribing to our email list. And we also have another offering, which is the online game that's going to be launched in February. It's going to be launched at $99 USD a year. And we are now offering, so this is pre-Kickstarter, we are offering it for $49 USD a year if you donate now. So that will help us a lot to bridge, what we still need to do to launch a beautiful and amazing Kickstarter.
right. Wonderful. That's so exciting. And I know that this is just the beginning of this
Yes.
amazing adventure. So I can't wait to see, what else comes from here. I really can't wait.
Yes.
So is there anything else that you want to tell us?
Just that I trust, and that I'm inviting you to join us in this journey of illumination and expansion, and to transform our planet together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So everybody, head to sacredworlds.com, and there you can donate. You can also do the Kickstarter, right? The connection, the connection to the Kickstarter is there as well.
There's a donate button that takes you to this Kickstarter offering.
Page. Okay.
Kickstarter offerings, and then there's a subscribe button. Because subscribing to our emails, when you subscribe, your child gets sent immediately a PDF copy of a coloring in book with the characters and the tools and snippets of information about the book, about the game.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Very exciting. Very
Yes,
exciting. I'm so excited.
yes, it's very exciting.
All right. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And again,
And
everybody,
I look forward to my next connection.
yes,
Maybe before Kickstarter, with more information, you know,
yes,
um, and so we can keep the public, all the audiences in different countries informed.
informed. Yes, absolutely.
All my
Awesome.
love.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for watching. And again, please share.
Please
Bye-bye.
share.